Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Show here. Now then, when we last left off, Deku, he is hurtling through space. And he has just blocked out. Now, let us cut to roughly 20 seconds before this happened. Inside the spaceship, Momo has been able to actually seal off the airlock. As it would begin to close, and Momo, she and Kirishima are both screaming at the Marines, saying that Deku, he flew outside. He went out there with the seed. They don't know what happened to him, and he is probably in danger. Now, the Marine that is still left aboard the ship, he would have disengaged the docking bay, as the ship would disconnect, and this process would take 30 seconds. Deku being left unconscious out there for 10. The Marine would have been able to pull him in and actually get him on board, as Deku is heavily covered in frostbite, along with him being curled up into a ball. Now, everyone would come running back to the ship. As they can see the apothecary, he would break through the crowd and run aboard, immediately pushing the Marine away, saying that he can handle this. As he would begin trying to help Deku. Deku's body is clearly shaking, so there is some signs of activity. As he would see one thing poke out of Deku's arms and around his neck, which he would go to move. As soon as he grabs it and he holds it up, all the Marines are in shock. The boy did it. He saved the chapter. Yes, he did. Now, we will save him. As the Marine would have grabbed Deku, scooping him up off the table. Deku's body, he is, well, heavily injured. Along with he probably has hypothermia and massive organ failure. The Marine immediately taking him to the medical bay to help him. After roughly about 2 to 3 hours, he would have gotten Deku somewhat stable, along with having to put him on a couple life support systems. As the Marine would have walked out, everyone is waiting to hear the verdict. The Marine taking off his helmet and just nodding, saying that the boy will be fine. Little crazy bastard, but he'll be fine. As the Marine would somewhat go to crack a smile, just turning his head away, thinking that this boy, he is something special. Surviving and keeping a friend alive. From what the librarian has said, he wanted to help someone, and I'm guessing he did, exactly the way he thought he needed to. Now, Kirishima, she would immediately be looked at, as the Marine would just wave her in, saying that he would like to talk with her, and check on her injuries, since she basically has bandages and something on her face. A weird bump. The Marine, he would have checked her out to see if she was okay. Her just saying that she should be fine, but she would like to see, yes, I understand. Him immediately throwing him back a curtain as she sees Deku basically hooked up to a lot of equipment. Somewhat confused. Asking how is this even possible? Well, after a lot of the effects and I'm guessing possibly going catatonic, it sent his body into shock. Afterwards, I believe that one of his lungs may have collapsed. Or both of them. I still do need to perform internal surgery. But the boy, he may have just saved the chapter, so we may need to do this process early. Well, turning him into a Marine, or into an initiate. We would get him jump started on his training, but like this, he cannot do anything. The boy may as well just fully earned the right to just be one of us. So, he, as the man with someone to say that he needs a blood sample. He needs some from all the children. He's been trying to research this. Trying to crack down on it, however, is a bit tricky. As she would listen. The man getting a blood sample from her and then calling in more people. Getting blood samples from them. As he would turn to his research. Opening it up on the ship and looking through. He begins to test different samples against the gene seeds. Or at least run them through a scanner and see what would happen. Basically a probability matrix, as you can call it. Can it be successful or will it fail? To which, if the odds are huge, they don't care. They just want to see possible outcomes. Now, the man, he would be running through everything. As any time he finds someone who has a quirk, he finds the anomaly that things don't work with. The quirks can make the gene seed a bit more unstable. But that's the least of his problems. Making it unstable, that's perfectly fine. The seeds have been unstable in the past. Stabilizing them takes time. They just need to adapt to biology. But as the Marine just sits there thinking, new human biology, it's so frustrating. Everything inside stayed the same, but power. I really wish things were just like when the Tyranids were around and they were our biggest problem. As another Marine would walk in, visiting the boy, saying that Deku has had quite a number put on him. Now, he would just ask exactly what is he doing, to which he would say that he's testing probability. The boy saved them quite a long trip, and possibly everyone. They were lucky. The next, base is 20 years from here. We'd have to go into hypersleep, but I don't believe there would be enough chambers for the children. So, the librarian has had an idea. I'm guessing he brought it to your attention. Actually, no. I brought it to his. What? Listen. As the two Marines would go back and forth on this conversation. Eventually, Deku would wake up. As he does somewhat try and sit up, finding that he can't really move his body. But he would look to see his arms. A lot of the blood vessels on them seem to be scarred and he can see them. So he would immediately realize what happened, as he would somewhat go to take a deep breath of air. The machines are silent, and Deku is just able to see these Marines out of his vision, or at least what's left of it. Deku may be partially blind, thanks to his little idea. Now, the Marines would just start trying to ask Deku questions, which he would not be able to answer. The Marines are a bit confused until the medical advisor, the apothecary, would say that the boy's temporarily or may have popped the eardrums. The boy's gone deaf? Yes, he has. I was thinking about giving him one of the implants early. Or at least the ones that can help restore his senses. Shit. Well. The boy can't hear us then, correct? No, he cannot. as Deku tries to ask questions. He's being very loud, as he's asking about the canister and the gene seed, if it was okay and if he was successful. The medical advisor is holding up a capsule, saying that and just nodding his head. Deku beginning to somewhat cry. Now, they would leave Deku, as he would go on saying that the quirks, they're somewhat difficult, but it's the quirkless that's the problem. What do you mean? Well, this quirk, as people call them, they seem to be a virus, or a part of a virus, something that's happened. Whatever happened, at some point in the past, humans were exposed to a chemical weapon, I believe. The gods of chaos may have tried something, and failed. Humans adapting to it and growing more powerful, which in turn may have been their plan. You think the gods of chaos gave humans power just to stop us? Well, it's one of my possibilities, but I'm not sure. It's loose, but it somewhat fits. So, about the quirkless kid then. Well, you see, that's just it. The quirkless ones. They're harder to turn into us. I've said it before. Specialized versions of the gene seed. Custom made for each person. Amplifying their best traits. Really now. You really believe that would work? By the Emperor, I believe anything will work. The Emperor, sadly, he is gone. But, as the Marine would continue stating, that they can continue his legacy. Some of the Primarchs may be gone, but that will not stop them. They will just have to work harder. And make new Primarchs. Which would confuse the Southern Marine. The guy is saying that they will create the new generation. They will use what's left and, well, recycle it. Creating newer and more advanced Marines. You may not like it, but this is the only possible way I can see us doing this. And lowering our mortality rates. That's not the Marine way. I get it, but we don't have any other choice. Like you said, or well, the librarian said, 20 years. Do you really want to wait that long? This plan, it's been too complicated. Plus, the other Marines are probably already on their way to that ship. Or that fucking complex. Do you really want to give that a shot? To risk that time and waste it for nothing? Only to get one more gene seed? Which the man would somewhat just grab the other Marine by his armor and somewhat bring his hand up. Before he just thinks about this in his head. He would just toss him backwards into the wall as he would slam into it. Deku, he may not be able to hear, but he can clearly feel the force of that. As he would just say that he gets it. Now, if you're going to be doing that, then at least know. You are in charge of every single process. Catalog your findings. As the man would just pause for seconds. If you're not successful, we are starting over. Do you understand me? Yes. And one question. Let me guess. If the mutations? Well, that was it. Mutations may be uncategorized and unexplained. So how should I deal with them? Well, like you said, lower our mortality rate. As the Marine would just walk out. The apothecary, he is just left there. As he would take a deep breath in, then a deep breath out, and get to work. He would fix Deku's hearing and his eyesight. As the next day, on the ship, they are told that they're allowed to visit him now, as they would walk in and see him. Deku, he may have something over his face, but it at least works. As he's basically told that he'll be having to wear a mask for a second to help get his vision and hearing adjusted. They would see him in Kirishima, she would just ask him why he did that. That was incredibly stupid. Well, what else was I supposed to do? Wait for my friend to die? Friend? Yeah. We're brothers and sisters in battle, but we're family. All of us are. As she would hold up one thing, saying that he kinda dropped this. Deku trying to reach out for it. He would bring his hand up as it is actually twitching a bit. Grabbing onto this and taking it from her hand. Deku would see that it's the, necklace he has. As he would just close it in his fist, saying that he understands this. Now then, with that being said, the Marine, he would help Deku heal more and more and more, over the course of a month to about 2, since Deku will actually need some surgeries. Along with him actually getting, I want to say, another dose of the liquid that they've been injecting the kids with. He actually gets a double dose of it today, which Deku would have noticed actually is somewhat setting him off a bit more. By setting him off, I mean it's actually increasing and somewhat boosting his strength a little bit, past what he normally feels like is normal for him. Now, they would begin training once more, as everyone will be going through firearms training and actual live weapons, as they basically have a tournament, as you can call it, where you have 150 people to around 200 in each team. Whatever remaining number they have, I want to just say it's around 550, and say that they have 275 on each side. Now, each person, they would be given a weapon. It has a specialized dart attached to it. Now, this dart is coated in a paint that will not wipe off, unless you give or will apply a certain chemical to it. So you can't just wipe it away and pretend like you were not hit, since it will be clear who is lying and cheating, as these weapons do fire like real firearms, along with carrying the weight and actually the stopping power, as you can say. It just isn't meant to kill. Now, Deku, he is actually running around, as he would have immediately just jumped up into the air and be able to dodge a bullet, somewhat being able to see it for a second, as he would have been able to land and actually start moving forward. One of the people next to him got tagged, so he would have immediately asked for their gun, as they would just toss it over to him, Deku catching it in his left hand, as he would begin rushing forward. Everyone watches as this guy, who they call the Crazy Man, or just the Crazy One, he's rushing forward. Quite a lot of people are trying to take their shots. But these guns were only designed with the one dart, so they were meant to be careful or be risky. depending on how you want to fight. Now, anytime Deku is able to actually see these for a second, he would have immediately dodged out of the way, and tried moving around the other ones. Now, with that, he is able to actually get close enough to actually bring a gun up to someone's face and just bonk them in the head with the barrel, saying that they're out, which would confuse them, until they would turn to see that they have a ring of paint around their head. Touché. Now, after that happened, Deku he would have backed away as he would have fired at the gun in his left hand to his left, and the one in his right hand about 75 degrees to his right. Actually, yeah, that's 75. And he would have actually hit someone in the shoulder as he would continue through. Quite a lot of his team are motivated by this, and they would all be rushing in. Eventually, Deku would have gotten hit, after 50 people fired upon him at the same time. Basically, a wall of bullets. Now then, after that happens, this is where Deku, he is actually pulled out of training for a day, as the Marine would be talking to him. The apothecary does check on Deku's implants to see if they're doing well, along with telling him that today he is going to be going through a bit of an early process, which would confuse him. The Marine is saying that this will be experimental. You are going to be given these shots. They should help your body more, and help with certain other aspects of your anatomy. I understand that you still have been having problems with, well, as the man would just see Deku's hand. His hand is somewhat still shaking, indicating nerve damage, saying that he can help handle this. So, they would continue. As Deku, he would be 9 years old. Them being told that they are going to be going through the next challenge. The next challenge, they will spend a year by themselves on a planet with a compass. They are all going to be sectioned off to certain areas. But you will all have one place to go. Whenever the signal is activated, this is where combat gets serious. Now, you are not permitted to kill each other, but do understand, the first 50 of you to make it will be put up against each other in a battle. This is our way. No matter where you are across the planets, just understand. It may be easier for others, but for the ones that are late or early, they will have to deal with something else. Now then, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.